to set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Here we go. We have another one of those experiences, aka Patterson, and welcome back. It's the Film Buff Podcast. I'm your host. I'm your boy, Peter A. DeLuca, the obsessive film freak from Philadelphia, Center City, PA. Not more of a mile from the historic City Hall, one of the greatest structures this country's ever built. Vince Vaughn, James Marsden, Jimmy Tartu, Keith David, Emily Hampshire, Eliza Gonzalez. This movie is fired, rolling on all cylinders. Ben David, one name. Ben David, intercapped D. Ben David Grabowski. Doesn't have much of a film. I was expecting when I looked up who directed this movie, Mike and Nick and Alice. Mike and Nick and Alice. Hulu, Disney Plus. It dropped March 27th. Saw a little bit, saw maybe a couple clips on the TikTok and social media. Last night I put this movie on and I have no concept of what this movie is. I just like Vince Vaughn. I like James Marsden. The title, the image of the two Vince Vaughns, it's a press play. And within a couple minutes of this movie, which opens in a entire musical number, gunfire, explosion, and then we kind of jump ahead or jump backwards, and that's the hook of this movie. This is one of the most original time travel movies. I will put this with, and I'm just talking about zaniness. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure, Hot Tub Time Machine, Mike and Nick and Alice. There's a class now of this type of movie. This is a perfect time loop movie. This is a perfect ending. This is the return of James Marsden. This is James Marsden, action, fun role. You can put James Marsden in anything. Vince Vaughn, this is a continuation of him just picking nothing but good projects. Ben David, our boy here, has selected one of the best modern day soundtracks in use. I mean, a lot of movies have great soundtracks, aka Patters. Few movies have that soundtrack with what's happening on screen. It's where a movie can become part musical, part movie, part music video, but mostly musical. I often discuss the reason why All That Jazz is the greatest film of all time is because it pulls in all the senses. It dictates all the senses. That's what the musical does. It's not just the music, it's what we choose to do with the music. Some of the best action scenes, some of the goriest moments, people's heads getting blown off, people's getting sniped with round holes in their head. It's there. We have Dolph Lundgren as a cannibalistic, what's his name? The Baron. Cannibalistic hitman. You only hire him if you want him to eat the victim. I pressed play, watched this movie, didn't know what I was getting into, and along the way, completely blown away. Pun intended, because we have some, I want to say, amazing action sequences in this film. We have a little bit of a love triangle, love story. We have the concept of love loss and what happens through the course of a relationship. We have one of the best reactions to a F-pad that someone of means could have. We have good quips. Vince Vaughn, nothing but funny. He's playing himself. Like somewhat, some time has transpired. There's enough nuance between, like, within his two separate roles. It's hard to classify if it's two separate roles or not. There's enough nuance where they don't agree and see eye to eye aren't exactly everything, and it's there, and some of it's just unsaid. We have a heartbreaking death scene. We have a in logic in the rules of the time travel death scene that it all fits, it all comes together, and then we end this movie with the hope of the adventure, or whatever you want to call it. The quest continues, and we ended wanting exactly more. We want the sequel. We want to see what happens next. We want these characters to be together because we love these four characters, or is it three characters? AKA Powders. I cannot recommend this movie enough. I think this movie is it's in the category of perfect time travel loops. I didn't know this was a time travel movie. Had no idea. Got into it. Not only that, Keith Davis' performance as the father and like the son, where like the underlings are kind of like, I have to say it, they're just slow. They're a little bit retarded, and I know, right, that's maybe an antiquated term. I don't know if I can say retarded, but Keith David as the mob boss and father, and he tells this story of how he found his son, and it's just it's a bit that goes on for a little bit too long, but it still works because it leads into this bonkers action scene. I don't know, AK Powders. I think this is one of the movies of the year. Uh 2026. Or maybe the best comedy already. I love you guys. Full recommendation. Mike and Nick and Alice. We'll talk more about this later, but for now, this is what we do in the morning drops. Quick recommendations so you guys can start your day and have something to watch later tonight. Love you guys. Rock and roll. Okay, and we're back because here we go. AK Powers. A lot of times I record, I feel like, we get enough of the why the movie could be important, why you should watch it, enough of the plot out, enough of the people involved. These are all the things people care about when we watch movies. But here, it's the film buff. I know, and we're here for a higher observation. I was thinking about this, and I can't drop this episode without the. So you're going to get the episode in the entirety. Consider this a special feature. Ben David Grabowski. When we look into this guy, when we look into his filmography, this is something. Let's just call this disturbing, and we see this a lot. Like there's a movie Chaperone that I did recently. Even Hamnet, where the filmographies of today, there's less short films, there's less what seems to be time on productions or time in Hollywood. But these people, this guy Ben David, let's just say, even though he's been active since 2011, he only has, I mean, he's got Skip Trace, he's got Happily, 2011, 2016, 2021. Previously, Coyote and Acme, uncredited, but that's somewhat of a mythic movie at that point. I believe it's finally getting released in 2026. But then we get this movie. There's nothing in his filmography, and we see this. This is a modern day phenom. It's a phenomenon. No filmography, but we're producing high-end movies. The action sequences in this movie, the look of it, what we get from the actors on screen, what ends up in front of our eyes, it comes off as someone who is seasoned. And we're seeing more and more slimmed, or let's just say, filmographies that don't add up. It's a weird thing. Now, we live in the age of information, of technology. These studios, if this came from Hulu seems highly efficient. Hulu and Fox, or whatever production company is through that, right? However you want to classify it, seems to have optimized film production on this level, second to Netflix, and I will say proportionally, I think the Hulu movies come off just better than Netflix. I think they're a little bit more targeted to the audience, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more high concept. With all of that, I cannot figure out how you spend limited time on sets making movies throughout Hollywood, and then you make a movie like this. And we're seeing a little bit more of it. Now, it doesn't mean these people don't understand things, or they're not trained or taught, or whatever the tutelage is, or whatever the way that they cut their teeth. But this Ben David here, clearly highly involved since 2011, doesn't have a lot of credits, produces this movie, blows my mind, and there's a disconnect. All right, AK Pirates, I had to come back. Had to add some extra commentary. I love you guys, rock.
Okay, that's a wrap.